Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks for today. We're talking Thursday, November 20th. Happy Thursday, everybody. The Splash Zone is back in your life. I'm going to have 3 NBA player prop picks for you guys to lock in for today's NBA betting slate. Tail them, fade them, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to give out my plays, and hopefully we can turn this thing around. Because yesterday just continues what's just been a brutal week, brutal month, brutal lifetime, brutal everything. Only got one of our 4 plays to cash. Thank you to Jared Allen. It was also our only under to cash as well. That one came very close. He had 4 rebounds in the first quarter and then only 3 the rest of the game. But everything else lost. AJ Mitchell went to him again. I loved the matchup. I loved the look for him. Didn't come through. Anthony Edwards shot horribly. You know, these 2 plays were both fade of recent results in a really, really good matchup. AJ Mitchell had gone under, I think, in 2 or 3 straight games. And he had shot horribly in all of those games. I loved the matchup against the Kings, went under. Anthony Edwards, same thing here, had gone under in 2 straight games, had shot horribly in 2 straight games. I thought, this is actually should be Wizards, not Kings. I thought that he was going to show up in a very soft matchup against the Wizards. He started hot and then was horrible the rest of the game. And then Drummond, you know, this was the opposite of a fade of recent results. He had gone over, I think, in 4 straight games. I liked the matchup against the Raptors. He went under. So there's really, you know, I try to go, okay, maybe the fading recent results thing isn't working. I'll back Andre Drummond in a good matchup under. Okay, all right. I still like my overall logic of fading recent results. So I'm gonna play 2 guys that fits that category. They both go under. So it's really just nothing I've been able to do has been working out, except for taking under. So that's really the only thing. And even this one was a little bit sweaty on Jared Allen. So down 2 units yesterday. It's just been brutal. You know, I thought we were going to head in the right direction. We swept the slate on Sunday, and then it's been down every day since. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all 3 were in the red, wiping out our profits we made from Sunday. It's been brutal. I wish I could come on here and say anything different, but that's just how it's been. About a month into the season and don't have a lot to show for it. So hopefully we can turn things around today. Again, 3 plays for you guys to lock in. I tried to find an under, but I didn't want to force it just for the sake of saying, well, I need to start playing some more unders. There are a lot of matchups that I liked. So I'm rocking with 3 plays for today. I'm going to check out Props Madness, who the Props Madness tool is phenomenal. Don't let my lack of success this year dissuade you from Props Madness, because they're just an information tool. You take the information and you make decisions from there. I just haven't been able to make the right ones. We'll see if we can turn it around. It is what it is. The first play, Jaylen Suggs. I'm taking him on the PRA. It's -108 at FanDuel. You can also get -105 at Bet365. That is the best offered price. That's what I locked in, but I would still take it at -108 and -109 at both FanDuel and DraftKings. So you're going to say, well, he's only gone over this in 4 of 11 games. Why do you like this play? There's a couple reasons. Number one, you got to look at his minutes. So we're looking at his minutes here. He was on a minutes restriction. How many times can I say minutes in a minute? He was on a minutes restriction for the first couple weeks of the year. We see 17 minutes, 17 minutes, 19 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 21, 19, 20, 21, and then starts jumping up. 29 minutes, 26 minutes, 28 minutes, 32. And the last game he played was the first game he hit 30 plus minutes this year. So you look at his last 4 games, averaging about 29 minutes per game, has gone over in 3 out of these 4 games. It's not rocket science. The more minutes you play, the higher chance you have to rack up a bunch of stats. Another thing that is in favor of Jaylen Suggs is no Paolo Banchero. He is out for this game. Banchero has missed 2 straight games. Guess what? Suggs has gone over in both of these games. And what I really, really like is he has gone over, but he hasn't shot well. 5 of 11 from the field, 4 of 11 from the field. Only shot 36% one game, 45% in the other. The reason he was able to still hit his PRA is because his rebounds plus assists has been fantastic. Now, I debated just rocking with the rebounds plus assists, which you can get at +104 for him to hit 10. What scared me off was 2 games ago against a very soft matchup in the Nets. 11 rebound chances, 12 potential assists. That's perfect. If he's getting double digits of both, I will gladly take for him to get 10 combined. But last game, in a tougher matchup against the Warriors, only 7 rebound chances, and he converted 8 of 11 potential assists. That's probably not going to have the same conversion rate. So I figured combine the 3 because I love this matchup against the Clippers. Now, from a points perspective, the matchup is average. It's not bad. It's not good. You hover over the matchup here. Mostly yellow, which is average. Red is bad. Green is good. The best part of the Clippers defense is they allow a ton of three-pointers. That's where 35% of his points come from, is via the above the break three-pointer. And everything else, like play types, below average, above average. Good, a slightly above average. There's really nothing that scary about the play types here. But their defense has fallen off a cliff. Like defensive net rating, 7th worst in the NBA. So it's definitely a better matchup than not. But the matchup for both his rebounds and assists are very, very good. The Clippers, you hover over the matchup here. Second most assists allowed to guards. Now, Props Madness looks at guards, forwards, and centers. Doesn't differentiate between point guards and shooting guards and small forwards and power forwards, which I think makes sense because it sometimes can be hard to delineate. But Suggs, is he a shooting guard? Is he a point guard? It's a little bit nebulous with the Magic because they don't have a true point guard. Like Bane plays a lot of guard minutes, runs a lot of point and stuff. So regardless, very good matchup. In his last 2 games without Banchero, 6 assists on 12 potentials, 8 assists on 11. So right off the bat, double-digit potential assists in both of these games is very good. The Clippers are a good matchup for assist props, as you can see here. The really only good thing they do is not guard, or they guard the restricted area well. Everything else is pretty good. Granted, that's where a lot of assists from Suggs comes from, but I still like the matchup for Suggs. And then the rebounds, it's the same thing. You hover over the matchup here, literally 30th in terms of rebounds allowed to guards. That kind of makes sense because their center, or their guard, is James Harden, who you're going to have to worry about him on offense, but he's not crashing the glass. He's very, very lazy. So as soon as he shoots, you can just go in and not have to worry about boxing him out or anything. So I kind of can see why they are a good matchup for guards. I also debated just taking the boards, which you can get for plus money at over 4.5. He's hit it 3 out of those last 4 games, which also coincides with him playing more. It's 2 straight games without Banchero. What scared me off was this number here. 5 rebounds and only 7 rebound chances. So I thought the safest thing to do was to combine all 3 of them because there's positive regression built in for his shooting, which I know has burned me before. And then we're also backing what he has done with Paolo out in these last 2 games on the rebounds plus assists. So combined the 3, PRA over 23.5. I know I talked a ton about Jaylen Suggs, but I really thought the look was good for him. We'll see if that comes through. Next up, I'm taking a rebound prop for Zach Edey. Now, if I had confidence, if I wasn't the broken shell of a man that I am, I would take him to record a double-double, which you can get for plus money. That's plus 135 at Bet365, plus 110 at Caesars. He hasn't hit that in any of his 2 games, but he had double-digit rebounds last game, double-digit points his first game. And the matchup is pretty good for both of them. But the matchup is better for the rebounds, which is why I ended up just rocking with the rebounds. Now, the odds here have moved. I was able to get it at minus 115 at both Hard Rock and Bet365. It has now moved. I would check Bet365. Their odds aren't able to pull, but that's where it was minus 115. That's where I bet it myself, but I would still take it to minus 120 at BetMGM. What I like about Edey is he's played 2 games. So he missed the first month or so of the season. His comeback immediately played 25 minutes in both games. So we're not really concerned about a minutes restriction here. Floor is probably 25 minutes. The ceiling is probably 28. The first game, 14 rebound chances, only got 7. The next game is more what we're looking for here. 11 rebounds on 19 rebound chances. That's perfect. That is exactly what we're looking for. And the good news is it's a very good matchup for center rebound props. You hover over the matchup here. Rebounds allowed, just in general, 8th most. That's just because the Kings play fast and they miss a lot of shots. That's why when teams allow a lot of rebounds, it normally has to do with the pace, and they play at the 5th fastest pace. But D rank versus position just go 1 below when you hover over the matchup. 28th, meaning they allow the 3rd most rebounds per game to centers, according to Props Madness. Now, I always like to look at a bunch of different sources just to make sure that they're kind of pulling the same thing because everybody tracks everything differently. So when you can look at multiple and still get the same information, that's really valuable to me. And the Kings, according to a website called #NBA, allow the 4th most rebounds per game to centers. Top 5 matchup, that's what we're looking for. Fantasy pros, who I used to work with in a former life. You look at them against the centers, 4th most rebounds allowed to centers in the entire NBA. Top 5 matchup, good to go. So they're bottom 4, according to these 2. Bottom 3, according to Props Madness. And similar players, 8 of 15 have gone over. Hartenstein went over last night. I was debating taking him, but I already had a play in this game, AJ Mitchell, and I said, you know what, I don't want to have two plays in what could be a blowout. Chose the wrong one. Jokic, 15 rebounds in the first game. In that same game, Valanciunas went over, Gobert went over, Hartenstein went over in the first game these two teams played, actually he's played them 3 times, over in all 3. The only difference here is that Sabonis is in. I think that kind of helps Zach Edey because, I mean, not that the Kings have anybody that can stretch you out, but it's going to keep them close to the basket. So a shot goes up, Edey's going to be guarding Sabonis. He's going to be there for the rebounds. Now he's going to have to fight with Sabonis, so maybe that is a negative, but the Kings are a good matchup for center rebound props for a reason. So this is play number 2, Mr. Zach Edey, over 9.5 rebounds. And then the third and final pick of the video, I'm going with Ryan Rollins over 22.5 points. This is best offered -108 odds at FanDuel. Now, -110 over 21.5, this actually has moved a little bit against me. I would actually, if I was taking this right now, I would take the over 21.5 at -109 at DraftKings. That wasn't available, so this line has moved against me since I initially sent it out. I still like the play. It's another one similar to Suggs where you're like, he's gone over in 4 of 15 games. Why on earth do you like it? Well, you know what's happened in 2 of the 4 games that he's gone over? No Giannis, who is out for this game. In these 2 games, 32 points, 25 points. Now, the 32 points was against a good defense. He took 21 shots. Now, he went 5 of 7 from deep, so that's not going to happen every game. Still, 21 shots to score 23 points. We're good with that. The next game didn't take as many shots and shot pretty efficiently. So we're hoping for more than 15 field goals made. 15 field goals attempted. But at least we know that he can have these kind of high volume, high efficiency days. And the matchup for him is good. The Sixers are not a great defense guarding guys that run a ton of pick and rolls. You look at them on the year. You look at the play types. Pick and roll ball handler, literally 30th. They allow the most points per game to the pick and roll ball handler. And it makes sense. All you need to do when you play the Sixers, put Joel Embiid, put Andre Drummond in a pick and roll, and it's barbecue chicken. I love Embiid. I will always be an Embiid defender. He's not able to move his knees, even if he plays. If he doesn't play, then you're cooking Andre Drummond, which is not that difficult to do. So you're looking at the pick and roll ball handler, third most. Transition, he loves to run the floor. The Sixers allow the third most points per game in transition. Now, we do see some red here. Spot up, the second fewest. Well, guess what? He's spotting up when he's playing off the ball. With Giannis out, he is not going to play off ball as much. So I put a lot more emphasis in the pick and roll ball handler, which is going to do more, and transition, which is going to run more without Giannis. So I think these two are very valuable, and they already make up over like almost 60% of the points that he scores is from these two. And I think it's going to be even higher without Giannis. So I love the matchup for Ryan Rollins. Kind of similar to Zach Edey. If I wasn't the broken shell of a man and I had some confidence, he would be a 25-plus play. He's gone 25-plus in both games both games that Giannis has missed. I just need to see one go through the hoop, so I'm not doing that. I'll go give you guys some leans as well, but these are the 3 plays that I am officially on. It's Suggs over 23.5 PRA. It's Rollins over 22.5 points, although you can get a better price now. You can get on DraftKings at -107 for 21.5. And then it's Edey, 9.5 rebounds, -115 odds there. Listen, 3-0 is not going to make up the losses from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but it just feels really nice when you're able to sweep a slate. Let's hope that happens. In terms of leans, there were a couple unders that I was debating, but it felt like I was forcing it. One of them is Zubac under 17.5 points. He's gone under in 2 straight games. He's 16 and 14 points in his last 2 games. And, it's kind of interesting. You hover over the matchup here. What I want to show you is if you go down, I need like a pointer to show you guys what I'm looking at. But if you go down to D rank versus position, that is how the Magic guard the position that Zubac plays, which is the center position, right? 3rd fewest points per game allowed to centers. Now, what's interesting about that is everything else is pretty either mediocre or good. Points in the paint allowed, 8th most. That's where 90% of the points from Zubac comes from. Not even 199% of his points come in the paint. 8th worst defense. 40% of his points come via the non-restricted area of the paint. They're the 3rd worst defense there. Posting up, 22% of his points come from posting up. 5th worst post-up defense. Putbacks, they allow a decent amount of offensive rebounds. Pick and roll, man, average. Free throws, average. There's nothing bad when you look at play types and shot zones and stuff. And yet, only 5 of 15 centers have gone over. And you hover over, you look at the same exact sources. We see Orlando allows the 5th most points per game to centers via hashtag NBA, and they allow the 7th fewest points per game to centers according to this one is Fantasy Pros. So it didn't really make sense to me. Maybe I should have still taken the under and rode with it, but from a play types and shot zone perspective, I decided not to. This is not an under, but the over is a good matchup for James Harden. The Magic defense, they're not, I mean, if you don't allow anything to the center, where do you allow points? And for the Magic, it's the point guard. It's a guy like James Harden who ISOs a lot and runs a ton of pick and rolls. They're the 2nd worst, 5th worst defense in those 2 categories. Now, they don't allow a ton above the break 3-pointers. That's where 55% of the points from Harden comes from. But they're a good matchup elsewhere. And Harden, with no Kawhi, no Derek Jones, like a ton of players are injured. He's gone over in 3 straight games. He really didn't shoot well at all in this game against the Sixers, and he still went over because he got to the line 12 times. They don't foul a ton. You look at free throws, they're average, but it's because they allow a ton of points here. So their guys are scoring instead of getting fouled. But he took 12 3-pointers, only made 2, 7 of 25 from the field. And then the 2 games prior to that, 37 and 41 points, 6 of 12 and 5 of 11. So he shot well in these 2 games. Granted, only went 9 of 22 from the field, but got to the line 15 times. So, again, if I was a confident man, this would have been a 30-piece for James Harden. But he's so inconsistent at the age that he is at that he's due for another game where he goes 7 of 25 from the field. But instead of getting to the line 12 times, he gets to the line 6 times. And then it looks a lot different. And then the Sixers are just a complete no-touch for me. Embiid might be back. Paul George might be back. McCain probably not going to play because he played yesterday. It would be Maxey, who's coming off of a tough game yesterday. Only scored 24 points. Only took 15 shots. He didn't get nearly the volume, but the Raptors are a good defense at guarding point guards like Maxey. That's why I didn't take his over. The Bucks are not they're not terrible, but they're not good. Like you see a lot of average here. They allow a lot of threes. And Maxey's had good success against the Bucks. You look at him last year, over in 2 of 3 games. 2 years ago, over in 2 of 3 games. You look at the 3-pointers. Last year, over in 2 of 3. The game before, over in 1 of 3. But you look at the volume, 8, and 9. So he's taking a lot of shots. Granted, we're asking him to make 4. We probably need more than 8 3-point attempts, asking him to go 50%. But there's just too much unknown with the Sixers. If Embiid ends up being out, if PG ends up being out, this line's going to get nuked on Maxey. So maybe you lock it in now and then cash out if those 2 guys are in, because it's probably not going to move too far from 28.5, but just decided to stay away. I know this video went long, but hopefully I can still provide some value even when I'm having days like last night. I still like to go through the slate and give you guys my thoughts. And if something sticks out that I didn't play or whatever, I hope that finds value for you. Regardless, Suggs, PRA, Ryan Rollins points, Zach Edey rebounds. Those are the 3 looks that we are going for today. Appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.